Yo, what's going on everyone? Thank you for tuning in to another video. Today we're going to be discussing my Sony a7 IV and the settings I use for automotive videography. Now I've been using this camera for about 2 years now, and I've used it in many different scenarios including nighttime, and this camera is a workhorse and a beast. It is a beast at low light performance. The sensor is a 7K downsample to 4K resolution, so the image quality coming from this sensor is super crispy clean, and yeah, just trust me when I say this camera is a beast. But let's go ahead and jump into the settings I use for automotive videography. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Let's turn this on. We're going to scroll to the video dial. Top dial is going to go to custom 1. For menu, we're going to start in the shooting tab, image quality, file format. That's going to be XAVCS 4K. This is what I like to use. For movie settings, our record frame rate is going to be 24 FPS. For our record setting, 100M 422 10-bit. This is going to give you the best color range. Now if we scroll down to audio recording, we want that obviously on. Audio record level is set to 5. For wind noise reduction, we have that off. Audio level display, you obviously want that on so you can see your audio levels. Alright, let's keep scrolling. Image stabilization, steady shot, we have that off for the meantime. Zoom, shooting display, grid line display. I actually don't use this one. What I do is I go to 12, marker display, set that on. Guide frame, set that on, and then you get these like white bold rule of thirds. Going down, exposure, ISO, set it to 800, ISO range limit. I use 800 and 12,800, so any ISO between this usually can get a good image quality, but obviously you want to always stick to S-Log3 base ISO, which is 800 and 3200. These will give you the cleanest image possible and the lowest noise. White balance, I set it to Kelvin temp filter, so here you can just set it manually according to the setting. I usually leave it at 55 or 56, which is just standard daylight. Don't use a picture profile. So this is where you can set S-Log3, which is picture profile 8, S-Log3, sgamma3.cine. All the other settings are standard. I don't really mess with them. So autofocus, manual focus, transition speed set to 4, shift sensitivity at 4, peak display, I have that on, peaking level high, and the color is blue. So this just shows you what's in focus. It'll be highlighted blue. Now we could get into setting our custom buttons. So setup, operation customize, custom key dial set. Now for the rear AEL button, this is set to my white balance. For autofocus on, which is my focus area, I can hit that and just set my focus area. For custom button 1, that is set to my metering mode. I usually just have it at multi-metering. For my custom button 3, the one right here, that is set to steady shot. So I can have it standard, active, or off. And if you have it on in active and you're using the gimbal, it can kind of conflict with that. I only have it on really if I'm shooting handheld. For custom button 4, the trash can down here, that is set to gamma display assist. So if you're shooting an S-Log3, if you have it on, it'll just throw in like a Rec 709 preview. So for the top dials here, obviously your record button, and then custom dial 2, that is actually set to APS-C crop mode. So it just crops into the frame. Very useful. I actually use that quite a bit. Now for the lens custom button here, I only use that in auto ISO. Hit that button. I usually have it at 1.3 because I'm shooting an S-Log, so you always want to expose by like 1.3 to 1.7. But I also only use this if I am vlogging. I do not use this for professional work. So now that pretty much all my settings are set, what I like to do is go to shooting mode, camera set memory, and I'll set it to custom 1. Now for custom 2 and 3, what I like to do is just switch the frame rate to either 30 FPS for custom 2 and then 60 FPS for custom 3. And the next thing I like to change depending on the frame rate is my shutter speed. So for 30 FPS I'll switch it to 1/60, and then for 60 FPS I'll switch it to 1/25. And then I'll just bake those presets into custom 2 and 3. And that's pretty much going to be all my settings for automotive videography. So that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up. If you found it helpful, drop a comment down below. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.